We have the privilege of speaking first and helping to launch the 41st Siamsa Sraide. And our association with it goes back, this is the 20th anniversary of our first run, Siamsa Ross. And for that reason, we're celebrating too, and we're delighted, particularly this week, when we have two Swinford athletes on a European team for the first time ever at senior level. And just on behalf of the Athletic Club, we're very proud to be in Swinford, and we're very proud to be part of Siamsa, because what we've learned in the Athletic Club over the last number of years is Swinford is a brilliant, vibrant community, and the money that the people of Swinford has raised for us to build that track, where we're at there at the moment, there's close to 400,000 has been spent, and 120,000 of that has been raised by Swinford people. So I think Swinford people are brilliant, and when we have this, which Adesh will talk about, every club in Swinford comes out and helps and supports, and that's why we're so privileged to speak first and to be part of Siamsa 2025. So we're absolutely delighted to speak first and say onwards and upwards of Siamsa, and everyone that has a relation anywhere in the world, tell them to be home for Siamsa. Over to Adesh.
Thanks so much, Michael. As Michael said, look, at Swinford AC is such a vibrant part of this community, and honestly we want you all to come out this year for the 20th anniversary of the Siamsa Ross. This was such a huge part 20 years ago when we had the Siamsa Ross, and I mean Michael and I were there. We're not old, are we, Michael? No, but that Siamsa Ross was so important, and that day it really got everybody running in our community. Our Fit for Life group, anybody that out there that wants to join our Fit for Life group, our Fit for Life member, our athlete of the year is here beside me, Carl Kelly. So there you are. So look, at the one thing I'd say, all you have to do to run is buy a pair of runners. It's that easy. And as Michael said, we want you all to come out absolutely for the Siamsa Ross, but most importantly, a huge big event that we have every year in our calendar is the 3/4 marathon, the 10k and the 5k. That takes place on the 6th of September. We are raising money to build that track. We're nearly there. Michael will tell you that. We're nearly into the inside. So everybody, we're so lucky, everybody in our community. And I say this to every one of my friends, and up in ATU, Sligo and everywhere else, we have the most amazing community in Sligo, or in Swinford. That was a really bad phrase. Brendan's going to kill me. We have the most amazing, absolutely amazing community here in Swinford. They're absolutely fantastic. We've the best clubs, we've got the best people. Look at Breach here behind me, the two Breach, Joe Mellett, they're unbelievable. So please do try to support the 5k race on the 6th of August, and on 6th September, please do come along and help us out. So over to Brendan and Carl, and thank you so much for letting myself and Michael open up the 41st Siamsa Sraide. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome to the official launch of the 25th Siamsa Sraide Street and Art Festival here in Swinford.
Absolutely, Brendan. It's great to have such a great crowd here tonight. I was just thinking, just to follow up what Dad said there, the Athletic Club, a wonderful organisation. Brendan, if I can win Athlete of the Year, there's hope for the entire family.
Yeah, I would say so, Colin. Yeah. We're kicking off this year from the 31st of July to the 6th of August, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about this brochure because a special person was chosen to launch the specific programme, and that is this lady beside me, Farida Raleigh. But I just want to, I suppose, say that there's a lot of people who have done a lot of work for this programme, and some of you are all here tonight. We've Swinford AC, Adet and Michael, and of course we've got Alan Heaney from Swinford GAA, we've got Maury Noon from Swinford Kyothis, I've got my two favourite historians, Maura Sweeney and Patricia Conway. We have Maura Philbin and Seamus Birmingham, all at Mayo Genealogy, who are all doing events. There's free open air music, you've got Cleona Hagan, John McNichol, Trad West, and so many others. But This festival, above all else, relies on 3 items. It's the committee, the clubs and the organisation, and sponsorship. And Cathal, I think I'll leave that to you in relation to sponsorship, how important it is.
Yeah, just to talk about, as the sign there behind Breach O'Connell says, 90% of the events over the Siamsa Sraide since the beginning, over the 41 years, have been free of charge. And that is down to the fact that Siamsa Sraide collects sponsorship. And the main sponsorship comes from our local town, our local community, and that's massive. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all those sponsors from all over the years and the current year for continuing to back the festival, because if that support wasn't shown, there would be no Siamsa. I think we all know how important Siamsa Sraide is to the community of Swinford. But and in that note, I would ask people, just when you're making those decisions of where to go shop, where to buy something, what to do, please just think of those local family businesses that continue to support our clubs, our organisations, our festivals, not just Siamsa, Paddy's Day, the agricultural show, the Christmas lights, the bunting that we see over town, everything. That all comes from the local businesses, you know, not some big multi-internationals sitting in London or New York, wherever. Our local businesses throughout our community. And we're just so proud of them, we're so happy to have them, and they do support us. And I would just ask you all just to be conscious when you're making those decisions, support your local business, because without them, the things we have in Swinford, the calendar events we have wouldn't happen. So I just think that's really important, and I just want to thank them all on this night for the support they give us throughout the year.
And there will not be any free events at Siamsa Sraide without the support of the local business people. But I don't want to mention anyone specifically, but I just want to focus in on the publicans that we have here in the town, because without their support, and Breach has always said this, and I know Joe will agree too, we could not go on. And to Shane and Rita Campbell, to Maria Boland and Seamus, to Pádraig Cork and Hilary and Liam, to Philip Irwin and to Jerry Moore, and of course to the owner of this place and our host for tonight, Marie Melletts. We are so thankful to them for staying with us for the last 41 years and showing the trust and the faith they have in Breach and in Joe to make sure this festival goes on. So I do think the publicans, we cannot do without them, and I think we all should support them as best we can.
I do my best on that note. We'll try a bit harder.
I just want to also send out, because there is some people, thanks to our loyal friend here and supporter Michael May, there is some people who are tuning in tonight. So we've got Kate Day-Hilmway out in Chicago, we've got John and Jamie Curry, we've got Karen Knight in New Zealand, we have Belinda Paul and David Cook in the UK, Colin Carberry in Toronto, and of course we've got Michael Brabson in Cork, and we've also got our friends in the Derry and Sagrant district that are tuning in tonight. Tom and Diane Lavin and Hanno and Jerry Murray send their apologies for not being with us here this evening. And I'm going to hand you over now to the man who has led Siamsa Sraide for the last 16 years as our chairman, and that is the Right Honourable, Jesus, what's it called? Joe Mellett, please. Too much politics.
Hello. Dini Ushla, Kahirach of Siamsa Sraide, Bawailam, Falshmore, Rekahania, and Ox. As chairman of Siamsa Sraide for too many years, I have the easy job tonight. My job is just to tell people what to do, to dictate. But it's only through the cooperation and the magnificent work that the committee have done through Breach and Brendan and Tom and Diane and Michael and Johnny and Mary and Paddy and Tom and Pat, the whole lot, this event would never happen. And we have to give a huge, huge bowl of buzz to every one of them. Forget about me, the committee. It's a tried and trusted and successful formula over the years. People come, people go, but the most important thing is the people who come from all over the world come to Siamsa for another 7 days this year of crack, conch, cora, agus bedlam on the streets. Days to remember, days to reminisce, days to think of people who won't be with us any longer. But all about the success of Swinford. I'm proud of Swinford, the committee are proud of Swinford. Long may this festival, this Siamsa, continue. So without much ado, I'm just going to pass you on to the next speaker. But I'm proud to be part of Siamsa Sraide for another year. So let's hooly. Go to
Thank you very much, Joe. And as Joe, just to pick up on what Joe said there, obviously with the new year, that we now face in Siamsa Sraide for 2025, we also must not forget those who we have lost in our community this past year. And I specifically want to mention Bobby McCallion and Paddy Linsky, and of course my Leaving Cert classmate of 2005, that is Alan Carter. And I just want to specifically mention to John and Geraldine that we are thinking of them here tonight, because John and Geraldine have been great supporters of Siamsa Sraide for many years. And there's many times I remember when we were stuck for a PA system and John Carter grabbed a trolley from Derek Kennedy's and landed down and came to the rescue. So I just wanted them to specifically to know that we are thinking of them here tonight. And I also want to, in our audience, we have the chairperson of the Tubbercurry Old Fair Day Festival, and that is Louise Kilban, who's with us here tonight. And they're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year, and it has been a tough year for them because they also lost a member of their committee, and that also hit us home here at Siamsa Sraide. That young man was by the name of Paul Walsh, and his brother Shane has been a part of the Siamsa family for many years. And I personally could not do a lot of the work we do at Siamsa without Shane Welch, and I just wanted to let Shane know that we are thinking of him here tonight. So I also want to just run quickly through a list of people, because I do believe that people should be acknowledged for the work they do, because the committee can do one thing, but we need you out there, and you are the ones that do the work. So I want to firstly say to the Swinford residents for putting up with myself and security lads for telling them the car park here and the car park there. To the Mayo County Council outdoor staff, Austin Meehan, Tom Foote, Porrick Noon. Swinford Gardaí, Connor, Regina and Sheena. To the Swinford GA, Alan Heaney, Shane Campbell, Douglas Kelly. Swinford Athletics Club, Porrick and Michael and Adette. Swinford Kyothis, Maureen Noon and Claudia Gleeson, Mayo Civil Defence. Anne Hanaho and the Railway Players. Pat Moore, Swinford Cruisers. Seamus Birmingham, Maura Philbin and all at Mayo Genealogy. Anne Layden, Anthony Leonard, Michelle Devaney, Belinda Paul and David Cook. Maura Sweeney and Patricia Conway. Michael May, Anne and all the team from Gno Mayo. Father Dermot, Father Victor. Swinford Tidy Towns, Swinford Clues team and of course Deirdre Fahy. Julie Ryan at the Western People, Eamon Ring at the Connacht Telegraph, Midwest Radio, David Renton and Michael Commons, the Midfield Pipe Band, they're an extraordinary group of people, and to Eugene Maloney, and also a special mention to Martin Griffin, who's doing a lot of work with us on that commemorative family mass that we're doing on Siamsa, and Breach will talk more about that later on, but Martin has been an enormous help to us this year. John Kennedy and all the team at Swinford Fire Brigade, to my colleague in Tipperary, Jack Clemson, who did so much work with me in designing the programme, to Lisa and to Martin, who are sponsoring our first ever Siamsa Vintage Car and Tractor Run, Henry McGlade and Fergus, who are with us here tonight to film this event, to Michael Walsh and all the team at Lovefest, and to my fellow Swinfordian down in County Cork, Michael Brabson, and of course again to Marie Mellett, who has been a strong supporter of us for many years, and whose advice and opinion I really appreciate it. And of course, I cannot forget to my own Maria, for putting up with me turning our home into an art gallery for the last 2 months, and for sharing me with you know who behind me, what you call it. But listen, thank you all so much for what you've done, and I'm now going to hand you over to the woman who has led us for many years, and she's our coordinator, Bríd O'Connell.
Rini Ushla, Farm Faltigus Fiher of Gostin Athancha enough. Gomormor Nadini and vertically near Honigas Kosanawari enough Okanowio. We're gate Falcha. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you live long enough, somebody will surely find you out. You can be the best in the world. But anyway, I'm delighted to be here again this evening. I'm more than grateful to see the turnout we've got. But Siamsa Sraide, of course, the Street and the Arts Festival, which I like to call it, is a good example of community endeavour, and that so many organisations contribute to this festival programme of events collectively. Collectively, we also need to feel responsible to our town, especially in recent times when we see all the shops closing and things like that. It's quite frightening at times for us, and we are kind of nervous about it because our income comes from a lot of the smaller businesses in the area. Fawalya Mara in Mega Freshen is as love a Hela a Warren Nadini. Now, the tourism figures according to the CSO for 2024 were incredibly strong for Siamsa Sraide. And nationally this year, 2025, is perceived to be a more challenging market than before. However, our visitors are mainly our diaspora, some of whom are attending again this year coming, and who are always contributing, they're especially contributing to the programme of events, thanks to Brendan Cassidy, who keeps in contact with all of these people and retains and nourishes these contents and all of these people from abroad. I would like to say that I'd like to thank Mayo County Council as well for all the support they have given us down through the years. I see Joanne Graham here, and Joanne, I'd like to tell you to bring this message back to them, that we were delighted with their initiative with the stamped cards you gave us, because I sent at least 23 of them all over the world, and I've had a nice response from people from Australia, New Zealand, England and America. Clap there for Joanne, please. Now, to condense the programme, I just want to say this. We have the highlight. I had to do notes out for this because I certainly would have got the shakes if I hadn't done it altogether. Highlights include film lectures, historical talks, photographic exhibitions, poetry, traditional shadows singing, La Cora Freshen, talent contests, family fun day, excuse me, overseas speakers and presenters from the diaspora, Jean Poole. Somebody who, in particular, who has been a team player in his younger days, has gone on to be a, and that person is sitting here in front of us, and that is Brendan Cassidy. Give him a big clap. The brochure, as you can see, the programme which he has put together for us this year is outstanding, and it is a marvellous tool for promotion of the event. I love it when a plan comes together, and as Brendan used to always remind us at meetings in the past, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Now Brendan, again I'm still talking about Brendan.
Keep it short, Ray.
For once in my life I'm going to tell you, mind your own fucking business. Excuse the vernacular there, I came out, but it happens. There aren't enough complimentary adjectives in the dictionary to describe the designer of this programme. He has set up a great relationship with many of the diaspora who are contributing to this year's programme, for example, writers, poets and filmmakers, musicians, historians and other artists. His ability to produce this programme, social skills and ability to placate all concerned is amazing. He is a first-class public relations person. I call on Brendan Cassidy to reveal his modus operandi and the content of his hard work and programme contents. Ecce homo, as they say in Latin, behold the man, that is Brendan Cassidy. I want to congratulate Cathal for all the work he did last year on behalf of many charitable organisations, and for the work he did also when he was abroad towards promoting Siamsa Sraide. It didn't go unnoticed, Cathal, and I know all the money you received was well earned, and I'm glad to see you're still out walking when I meet you every morning. It was a great time for us all together. Now I would also like to introduce you to the Woods brothers from Clonfinnon of the Michael Davitt branch, and they're going to entertain us with some lovely music afterwards. Mulla Anoiga agus Chukishi. I'm sure you all understand. Praise the youth, and they will come along. And good evening to everybody. I look forward to meeting you all at Siamsa Sraide. Without all the publicans in the town, I see some of them here in front of us, and Joe especially, who has been the chairperson of our committee. I want to say many thanks to Joe for his courtesy to me down through the years, and as I said before, Joe, if we live long enough, we'll either be canonised or found out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the person who's going to launch our programme, Bridge Rowling.
First of all, I want to just say thanks for everyone coming here tonight. Thanks for the committee to invite me here. I'm very proud and honoured to get this opportunity to launch this year's 41st Siamsa Sraide booklet. I know that there is a lot in this, so a lot of it already has been mentioned, but I'm just going to focus on a few things that basically is tied in with what is one of the main features in this year's Siamsa Sraide, and that is our film, All Our Yesterdays. It's going to be on Saturday, the 2nd of August at 7:30 p.m. And as many as you would like to come, I would be delighted to welcome you to that screening. This film is a film about the history of Ireland over the last 250 years. It's the story told by the people of Swinford. It's our story. And I'm very proud to have had the opportunity to launch it here with Siamsa Sraide on this 41st Siamsa Sraide. Now I'm going to go to my notes. As I said, All Our Yesterdays is a film rooted deeply in our community. It tells the story of Swinford over 250 years through the voices of our people. It weaves memories, music and emotions into a tapestry that reflects who we are, our heritage, our struggles, our resilience, and the enduring power of community. This is not just the story of Swinford, it is the story of Ireland, told by the people of Swinford. This documentary began 10 years ago. This documentary was born out of the idea of saving Swinford's memories. I have to admit that it has been a long journey. It hasn't been a straight road, there's been a few blockades, but really, at the end of the day, we're here tonight. We're here 10 years on, and we'll be launching it on Saturday the 2nd of August at 7:30. This film would not exist without the generosity of the local people and our diaspora, who gave their time and their stories so openly. The music of Swinford Kyotas, with the incredible guidance and support of Catherine Noon, brought the soul of our music to life. Many musicians and singers gave their time to recording specially for this project. The talent and heart are part of what makes this film sing. We are honoured to include compositions of Alana Thornburg, Stephen Doherty, Jack Feeney and our beloved Conor Walsh, whose music brings such depth and emotion to this film. Conor was not only a fantastic musician, he was also a great person. He loved his music and he loved his people. He was one of the founders of Lovefest, which is celebrating 25 years this year. On Sunday the 3rd of August, Lovefest has become a much loved part of Siamsa Sraide, created especially for the younger generation. This year it takes place in the White House with live music from 6 p.m. till very late, I'm told. A wonderful way to honour Conor's legacy and spirit. And we look at the past. We remember two men who helped keep local history alive for all of us. Michael Comer and Mihon Murphy. And we have to also mention Micheál's wife, Maureen. She's sadly missed, but she's always here with us. Every August bank holiday, Monday, they walk the streets, telling us local visitors, the locals and the diaspora, about the people who came before us and about the people whose history has shaped Swinford. The passion lives on today. Sorry, big writing because I'm as blind as a bat. The tradition continues on Monday, the 4th of August, with Maura Sweeney and Patricia Conway, two equally well First Ladies who now lead the Michael Comer commemorative history walk, starting from the gateway at 11 o'clock. They will guide us through the stories of our beloved town, adding new layers and insights to the legacy Michael began. One of the most powerful stops in this walk is the famine workhouse, where 654 people died over a 2-week period in 1847. Michael Comer tells this harrowing story, but vital story in our film, All Our Yesterdays. And this year we honour that memory with the commemorative famine mass on Tuesday the 5th of August at 5:30 p.m. The event begins as a procession walk from the main stage to the famine grave located behind Swinford District Hospital. Followed by the mass, there will be a blessing of a new installed plaque at the Swinford Union Burial Ground, ensuring that those who suffered are never forgotten. The Mass will be celebrated by Father Dermot Meehan. All Our Yesterdays is a film that tells our history over the last 250 years. All the main events of that history and how it affected our town and our people. But this history isn't just about Swinford. This history is also about any small town in the west of Ireland. Part of the story is the War of Independence and the Civil War, and also a central theme in All Our Yesterdays. As part of this broader celebration, I'm delighted to highlight a number of important historical events. On Siamsa Sraide's opening night, Thursday, July 31st at 8:30, Anne Leyden is in collaboration with Mayo Genealogy Group will host a talk at the Gateway Hotel entitled The Civil War in East Mayo. On Friday the 1st of August at 11 a.m, historian, poet, editor and reviewer Colin Carberry, visiting from Toronto, will present a talk in Boland's Bar covering the Irish diaspora, the War of Independence and the Irish heroes in Mexico. So I'll be interested in that one. You know, in Ireland today, there's a lot of unrest in relation to non-nationals coming to this country. I'm not going into a political wing because, you know, everyone has their own opinion. But I don't know, does everyone know in this room, we have over 70 million diaspora worldwide. We've travelled to every corner of this world. And at the end of the day, all anyone wants to do is be happy and have a life. And I think just for that, us saying that, or for me saying that, I think it's hugely important. And Siamsa is all about diaspora and welcoming people back. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's, I think it's just, you know, for me, I think it's important.
Well said.
On Saturday, August 2nd at 2 p.m, the official opening of an established titled Revolutionary Women of East Mayo and South Sligo, 1918 to 1923, will take place in Swinford National School, a tribute to the courage, determination and vital role women played in our national story. Up the women! Also continues to celebrate community spirit. A brand new addition this year is the first ever Siamsa Vintage Car and Tractor Run. taking place on Sunday the 3rd of August at 2 p.m, departing from Swinford Amenity Park. It promises to bring colour, conversation and nostalgia to the town, a cherished event that will link every generation. Hot on the heels of Siamsa Sraide 2025, Swinford will host another special celebration, Mac Fest in the West. This unique gathering brings together descendants of the McNicholas and McDonough family of Barnacuiga and Corrion, reuniting relatives from Swinford, the US and the UK, organised by Julie Owens, Jackie O'Rourke and Joanne Kilroy. This weekend honours the legacy of those who immigrated from Mayo but carries their roots with them. The Big Mac reunion on Saturday will with nearly 100 family members expected. That's Friday the 8th to Sunday the 10th of August. Now guys, I know enough has been said, but I just want to wrap this up by saying Siamsa Sraide is now in its 41st year. It has been a part of my whole life. It is a community event, a festival for locals, for visitors, but more than anything, it plays a vital role in reconnecting our diaspora through the many cultural, historical and musical events. It even forms part of the closing scene of all our yesterdays. So as we look ahead to this year's festival, we do so with immense pride. Pride in our stories, pride in our people, past and present. Pride in our music. This is our story, our heritage, our culture, our music, our people. And I am so grateful to Siamsa Sraide Committee for building this year's programme around the truth and for giving us all a space to remember, to reflect and to celebrate what it means to call Swinford home. Garamila Mahabat. No Irish.
Listen, we're very grateful to you for launching this year's festival. But also, we just want to thank you for all the work you've done for the Swinford people in recording so many happy memories we had over the years. From the, Siamsa Sraide reading back in the years, Procession of the Souls, the 1916 commemoration. And of course, we cannot forget that famous year that Swinford had back in 2019, the Swinford 250 celebration with our chairman behind us, Cathal Kelly. I can remember many times seeing you come into the 250 office, the hero all over the place and a coffee in your hand. She was very, she was determined to get a lot done, but I think what I admired the most about her was her passion about wanting people to work together and the community to pull together. And I think that's something that we all should do more often because, Swinford is probably at a crossroads right now and it needs to decide where it's headed, what the future holds. And I do think it's time that some fresh thinking and people should pull together. And I know Breach and myself had this conversation during the week about Swinford is without representation at Mayo County Council, but there's plenty of people in Swinford that represent this town and represent it well. You're one of them. I've got a young man, Cathal Kelly behind me. To me, you will always be young, Cathal.
And you're younger than me, so you're young.
We have fantastic people in this town, like Owen Lavin, you've got Maeve Gallagher, you've got Michaela Walsh, Aaron McLaughlin. So many young people, the Swinford GAA, the Athletics Club, there's so many people that represent this town and represent it well. And I hope that in 4 years' time, the community will come together and will retake their place back at Mayo County Council where it belongs.
Yeah.
Now I'm going back to my own script now, so forgive me. I'm going to ask two people who've been very close to you from the get-go to come up and to present you with the present that we've got for you tonight. Because you should be awarded and applauded, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to ask Mary Woodlock, and I'm going to ask Miss Rita Campbell to come up here. So Breach, Rowley, this is a small gift from us to you.
Well deserved. Well done, Breach Rowley.
So it's all our yes to 25, Breach Rowley. So listen, that is from us to you.
Thank you.
I know I lied to you a lot during this week, so I'm sure you forget
You
it.
did. You kept that one quiet.
I'm keeping many things quiet, I can assure you. But listen, folks, give it up here to Breach Rowley for all the work she's done for us.
Here, Breach.
Oh, What? Oh, thanks.
Now, folks, there's two other people that we actually want to make a presentation to. As most of you know, last year, Siamsa Sraide reached an important milestone. It reached its 40th anniversary. This festival was started off by a bunch of young kids back International Youth Year. You had Donegal O'Connell, you had Blanish O'Connell, and you had Tom Lavin, Kevin Esther, Marie Fallon, Eugene Owens, Kevin Hennigan, Debbie O'Hagan, and many others. And over the years, many people have made their contribution towards Siamsa Sraide: Tony Spain, Michael Loftus, Francis Brennan. But there's been two people that have stood the test of time and have been with us through thick and thin, and that is the chairman, Joe Mellett, and its coordinator, Bridge O'Connell. And Bridge will kill me tomorrow morning for this, but sure, look at, we'll see no more. But to Joe Mellett, he's part of the fabric of Swinford, and he's been an inspiration figure to many of us and a mentor. And I've watched him I've been with Siamsa for the last 22 years, but in the last, I suppose, 10 years specifically, I've learned a lot from him and Bridge. And I know, Cathal, you would feel the same way as well about the work that these two people have done for us.
Yeah, so I was absolutely delighted when Brendan gave me the job and said a few words about Joe. Get back there now. You know what's kidding me out is I've been trying to think of what you say about Joe Mellett. I mean, we'd be here all night if I tried to describe the amount of work that Joe Mellett does. But on a personal note, Joe Mellett has had my back for well over 20 years. And when Joe Mellett has your back, you know it. And I'm very proud to call him a friend. If he has my back, not only he has my back, Joe Mellett has Swinford's back. And Joe Mellett has had Swinford's back for well over 70 years. Yeah. We are so lucky as a community to have Joe play the role and the part he's played. Because jobs get done, Joe Mellett does them. Even just recently I was involved in the Darkness and Delight. Joe had the signs up. The next morning he had them down. You just didn't have to think about it, you just knew. Just on a small note, you knew Joe would have it done. But I just want to sort how Joe has Swinford's back. We were doing a walk a couple of years ago, two of us, and we were up in Maynooth. And we were having dinner, we were staying in the Glenroy. A phone call came through that the electricity had gone in Swinford Friday night, and I could see him getting worked up. That here was he up in Maynooth, and there was something wrong in Swinford. What could he do about it? So he got out the phone anyway, and he started making a few phone calls to, he probably has the top dogs in ESB or whatever on the line. Anyway, I said to him, come on, relax. I said, we can't do anything about it. We'll go down to Brady's, we'll have a pint. So a lovely summer's evening, we were down to Brady's, got 2 seats at the bar, we sat down, the lights went out in Brady's. I said, what deal did you do? I think he swapped the electricity in Maynooth for the electricity in Swinford. But as I said, no, Joe has had Swinford back. He continues to have Swinford's back. We were lucky to have him as a councillor, but never mind that we're just lucky to have him. But we wouldn't have someone like Joe without his family behind him. Francis, Kevin, Marie and Roisin. Because for someone that does the amount of work that Joe does, that means the family lose out on the time that they will get with him, because he does give so much time to all the different parts of Swinford and the roles he plays. So I want to thank his family for sharing Joe with us and for giving us the backing that they give him, allows him to have Swinford's back. So Joe, on behalf of the Swinford Siamsa Sraide committee, on behalf of the community and myself, thank you very much for all the hard work you do, and I'm delighted to give you this.
Now, Mr. Chairman, come forward.
No need in the wide dirty world for this crack. Hear me? As long as I'm able to do it, I keep doing it. So, thanks very much, fellas. I don't want to get a big head, but I don't want to hear any more of this crack now.
At the back of your programme, a year ago, Joe sent me a message, and he said it was the Irish thing, and I'm not good at Irish, and Bridge knows that. But the back of the programme, it says, there is no strength without unity. And with this man, we are united. And I am personally grateful to him. I'll always be grateful to him and to Bridge O'Connell for giving a young lad from the hills of Arnacuria and making him feel part of the Swinford community, which has always meant a lot to me. And I think, even living in Tipperary, I still feel that sense of duty to kind of get involved with Swinford. And I think myself and Mary Woodlock had a conversation during the week, and she said, you can't leave Swinford no matter where you go. And Cathal Kelly once described it to me as like the mafia. You can never escape it. Like. But no, Joe, seriously, all jokes aside, thank you for all that you've done for us. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And now, of course, to the Iron Lady herself.
Your turn. Man, I much of a good laugh.
Come on.
Okay, thank you. As I said earlier, if you live long enough, you'll be found out.
This is your moment, Mother.
This is your moment. And listen, we are grateful to all that you've done. You've been like a mother to me. And something that Colin said about the family sacrifice, and I know her own family.
That wasn't hard to be a mother too, because if you had the ones I have at
Never
home,
had
No, they're absolute credit.
Brendan was easy peasy, I tell you.
But no, we're very grateful. And one of the things I always learned from you was to have an independent mind and to work with people. And I know that's probably something you got from your parents, particularly your father, Owen, who was an independent councillor for many years in Westport. And we often talk about him. And you were saying how important it is to work together.
And I took all the messages at the front door and everything for him.
Yeah. But listen, we're grateful for all that you've done. And Maureen knew I want to come up here as well, Maureen. Because Maureen has been knowing you a lot longer than I have, and I'm sure she'll have some words she wishes to say to you.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not going to say much now, because there isn't much left to be said after that. But I'll say I got to know Bridge many years ago. I remember meeting her first as this gorgeous lady who used to be in Maurice O'Connell's chemist shop. And then I met her
Married to him, by the way, married.
And then I met her as a parent while I was teaching her children. And then I got involved. They weren't. They were lovely. Anyhow, I got involved with her on different committees. I just say that as far as I'm concerned, Bridget O'Connell was a wonderful mother, a wonderful person, a wonderful organiser, a great supporter of everything that was happening in Swinford, and always had a sympathetic ear for anyone who had a problem or who needed advice or who needed help, and just an overall wonderful person.
So Bridge, on behalf of the people of Swinford and the committee and all your family and friends here tonight, we want to present this word with you and just say thank you for being you. Thank you. Now, folks, we're just coming to the very end. There's going to be some music outside here in the bar, the smoking area, provided by the Woods Brothers. Isn't that right, Bridget?
Yeah, and they're members of our branch and also flagpole winners as well. But up-and-coming musicians, these are the boys of the future in Swinford. They're from Clonfinnon, and I'm glad to say that their dad came from North Mayo. Gaitach the Mayo, August, the Anfal to Robin Chahamela Hamika.
Now, before we go, we've got one more surprise for the two Bridges and for Joe. So bear with me now for 1 second.
Oh God.
You should be nervous.
I hope you're not responsible.
Joe.
Hello everyone. I want to extend my very best wishes to the people of Swinford for the upcoming Siamsa Sraide Street and Arts Festival, which is kicking off on the 31st of July and running until the 6th of August. Now in its 41st year, what began as a one-day festival has grown into a thriving 5-day event filled with activities that promote our history, our heritage, our arts and our music, our culture and language. The success of festivals like Siamsa Sraide cannot happen without the backing of countless volunteers who selflessly give their time and energy to make them happen. I would like to commend and thank the committee behind this wonderful festival, as well as all of the dedicated volunteers who have contributed to its organisation over the years. A special mention and congratulations to Joe Mellett and Bridget O'Connell, who I believe are being honoured with an award tonight in recognition of over 40 years. I also wish to congratulate local woman Bridget Rowley, who is receiving an award tonight and whose documentary, All Our Yesterdays, explores the history of both Swinford and Mayo as told through the stories of the people of Swinford. The three of you have offered so much to the local community in Swinford over the years, and I have no doubt your efforts are greatly appreciated, as these well-deserved awards demonstrate. I hope everyone has a terrific evening, and that this year's festival builds on previous successes. I look forward to seeing Siamsa Sraide grow from strength to strength. Gorach Mahagwiv Galer. Hello everyone. I want to extend my very best wishes.
Joe might hold for King Hall now. Folks, I'm actually going to just jump in here for a minute. I don't know how I follow that, but anyway. The programme you're holding tonight, the amount of work that goes into it doesn't just happen, and I think the committee will agree with me. This man standing here beside me is outstanding. He is absolutely outstanding. I mean, we're continuously looking for volunteers and for people to get involved in committees in this town, but the work Brendan Cassidy does, thank you. Please give him a hand. No, I'm not going to get. No, like, I mean, Brendan listed out a list of names here of the people he deals with, officers he deals with, departments he deals with. Brendan deals with all of them. We don't. Brendan, you know, it's actually the easiest committee to be on because we just know it's done, we know it's going to be done, and we know it's going to be done well. And that's because we have Brendan Cassidy running the show. And I just want to take this opportunity, Brendan. Massive thank you.
I met Michael Brabson last week, and he said, there is no we or them, there is only us. And that's what Siamsa Sraide is the people of Swinford, is the community. We were asked last year what separates Siamsa Sraide from other festivals, and I think if you pick up that programme, you'll see the involvement of the clubs and the organisations. It's all about community, but at the same time, it's up to all of us here to ensure that this town grows, and I think it's important, as Breach said, for the future, that we all work together and stay together as one united family. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you all in the streets of Swinford on July 31st. Thank you, folks.